Spectators, just to let you know that the wristbands for this afternoon's session are now available from the spectator entrance desk, so if you want to head there when you have a spare moment, you can collect your wristband for this afternoon's session. We are now on heat 3 of the 400 IM, the final heat, the fastest heat of the 400 IM. Lane 1 is Isabella Woodland for the Uni of Nottingham. Repton have Lydia Caudle in 2 and Eleanor Broughton in 3. 4 is Annabelle Wilkinson for Chesterfield. 5, Holly Robinson for Repton. 6, Holly Marshall for Repton. 7, Abby Mitchell for the City of Leicester. And Darcy Platt for the City of Leicester goes in lane number 8. Into the closing stages of this final heat of the 400 IM. Lane 6 leads and has led throughout most of this, being chased down though by lane 3. 6 is Holly Marshall and 3 is Eleanor Broughton. 4:17.9 to 4:18.8. So just over a second between them still with 50 metres to go. Remember, fastest time we've seen so far came in the previous heat, 4:59. So it is going to take a quick time from anybody to beat that. And it will be tight on the finish here, you know. Marshall really giving it, Broughton really giving it. They come right in together, and Broughton does take it, 4:50.62. But it all came down to only 14/100ths of a second.
Now the women's 400 medley. Megan Byrne in 5. Holly Marshall in 4 from Repton. Eleanor Broughton again from Repton in 3. So heat 6 of the women's 400 metres individual medley.
Starting to get a little bit faster now, these girls. We've got Holly Marshall in the centre of the pool, and they're in lane 4. But off to a really good start. It was Caitlin Cotter in lane 1. It's lovely underwater work, 30.79, so pretty fast opening 50 there in this 400 individual medley.
Nice flowing butterfly stroke down here in lane number 1. 0 closest to us is Katie Lee of Salford. Then in 1 is Kate Cotter of Chelmsford City. And it does look quite flowing, breathing every 2 strokes and then every 1 stroke, keeping her body as flat as she possibly can. And coming into the 100-metre turn, it looks like it is going to be Cotter first to turn from Chelmsford in the lane number 1, possibly in 4. Holly Marshall of Repton second.
Yeah, looks like that second 50 of the butterfly there hurt a little bit more than the first, and I guess it's all about getting that balance right in the 400 medley. But in the centre of the pool there, looking really comfortable, kind of edging away already on this backstroke split. It is lane number 4, Holly Marshall from Repton. As we say, she got that lovely long stroke. She got a super still head position and kind of using that rhythm of the backstroke to just gradually improve and tick away from the rest of her competitors.
Amy, just look at her feet, because she does seem to be using her feet quite a lot. She's really making the water boil. It's almost like a sprint backstroke stroke. It's interesting to see how much she is using her feet on her legs on this backstroke leg, because the breaststroke leg coming up is really leg heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, if I'm correct in thinking, I'm pretty sure Holly Marshall's a pretty good backstroke swimmer, so she must be using that to her advantage in this 400 medley. Hopefully it doesn't cost her too much for the other strokes, but she looks really comfortable here, and she's took out 2-3 metres from the rest of the field.
And just watch the turn as well, because we've seen quite a few open turns. Ooh, a little bit of a touch there, but there used to be a real crossover turn and sort of do almost like a tumble turn, but it seems now a lot more there's the open turn where you get a big old breath on the turn as you turn around on the back to breast.
I think a lot of it is a confidence thing, and it's obviously very difficult to teach and learn. So if you don't do it when you're younger and then obviously transfer it into the British Championships, for me, when I was learning it, I wasn't very brave the first couple of times when I raced, because I didn't want to get disqualified for getting the crossover turn wrong. So it is a hard skill to master, and I think if you're a 10, 11-year-old coming into swimming medley, you really want to think about trying to learn that as early as you can, practicing it in competitions, so that when you get to the British Champs, you've got the confidence that you just automatically do it and you don't have to panic and fluster and worry about it. Because definitely for me, the first couple of times I kind of gave in, and then it was, right, if you don't do it at this competition, that's it. You're in trouble. So I just had to go for it, and once you kind of are brave enough and do it, then it just becomes that automatic skill. But it is so much faster than the touch turn, where you've got that big breath and you kind of come right around the wall.
Yeah, but you get a massive breath and it does feel nice.
It does, but it's very slow, Andy.
Yeah, but it feels nice. No, I know what you mean. Certainly watching the big internationals, you do get an awful lot more of the crossover turn, and done well. It's very quick indeed. The 2 Repton swimmers in lanes 3 and 4. First to turn with 100 metres to go in this heat 6 of 8 of the women's 400 medley. First to turn was Eleanor Broughton of Repton, Holly Marshall second, and third Susie McNair in lane number 2. And these 3, they do look pretty strong going into this last 100 metres, and there's some good freestyle going on, and quite a scrap now for 1, 2 and 3. Also coming back pretty well up there in lane number 5 is Megan Byrne of University of Bath. Yeah,
Eleanor there had a really good breaststroke split. Obviously really strong down the second 50 in particular. She caught up Holly there quite a bit on that second leg, and she's just edging out in front here, holding that lead. Not much in it though, only 0.3 there at the turn from first and second. So the battle is on in this 400 medley into the finish. As we said, lane 3 as well coming into that, lane 4, lane 5, all the action in the centre of the pool. And swimming well it is. Susie McNair, a sterling swimmer, having a brilliant freestyle split here. Nice and long, but she's using them legs. Powers through the rest of the girls, and it is going to be lane 2, 4:58.09. So
after the heats this morning, fascinating.
Yeah, so a lot closer there, but we've got some more of those junior swimmers, so they'll still be, obviously we'll have seen the 2 junior swimmers before, Phoebe and Evie, sneak under that time. So they've got some work to do if they want to better that and make themselves available towards the selectors. There's 4 places at European Juniors, and when you get there, only 2 of those British swimmers can make the final, so plenty of opportunity to be on that team.
Well, the quality of British swimming at the moment is very good. We've already had 2 juniors make the consideration time for that European Junior Championships in this 400 medley from that Priority Paris final. We've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swimmers in this B final, all of European junior age, so they can make it. And then actually coming up again in the final, we've got another 3 or so. So the depth around that 353 is very good indeed, but then I guess the real challenge is to try and get them into 340s and then start getting closer to the podium.
Yeah, I think that 353 time's pretty competitive, and we've had a little bit, we have on all events, you have like a little bit of a gap and a lull where there's not many swimmers coming through, so it's good to see so many junior swimmers, especially in the 400 individual medley, coming through, because it only looks positive for sort of LA and beyond that the calibre is being developed now in these A, B, Priority Paris finals. Looks good for British swimming in not just next year at the Olympic Games, in 4 years and in 8 years' time.
Well, the times that were first and second in that Priority Paris final, very good indeed from Phoebe Cooper and Evie Dilley. And so they've set the mark for the 6 juniors in this final. Must be quite tough to see one of the slowest final go so quickly, and then 6 of them here. Be very interesting to see how they approach it, having just watched a very, very quick first final.
Yeah, a lot of these girls swam personal bests to make this final, so they'll be thinking, is it a big ask to maybe drop another couple of seconds to get close to that 4:53.5? But Matilda Bogle, we saw this morning, have a fantastic butterfly and backstroke leg, and she kind of did it on her own this morning in one of those outside lanes. So now she's back in the final. She's in one of those centre lanes. She's got a couple of swimmers around her, maybe pushing her on. It'd be really interesting to see if she can nip under that 4:58.4 and end up with another personal best at the end of the day.
So coming into the halfway mark in this, the B final of the women's 400 medley. And it's pretty tight. 4 swimmers up in lane number 8, Holly Marshall. She's a junior from Repton. And then in lanes 2, 3 and 4, all very, very close indeed. What must be split by about maybe a second and a half or so. And now the charge comes on the breaststroke, and it really does sort the field out, this breaststroke leg, doesn't it, Amy?
Yeah, definitely. You can kind of tell when somebody's maybe not the strongest breaststroker, because it either costs them a lot and then they're tired for the freestyle, or they just drop slowly from maybe first or second to kind of third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So that's what's so interesting about 400 medley, and really why you've got to stick to your own race plan and not worry too much about the other swimmers, because you could quite easily start to panic and think you're being caught, or you're not swimming very well, but in reality it's maybe not your strongest part and it's somebody else's best leg. So for me, it was kind of just focus on my own race plan, get my head down, whilst kind of keeping an eye on what's happening, but trying not to worry, because it isn't over until it's the last couple of meters on that freestyle and you're driving right into the wall.
So lane 4, Susie McNair going very well from Stirling, and there's still, what, 4 or 5 swimmers right in the hunt here with 100 meters to go at this turn. So a fascinating B final of the women's 400 medley. And with 6 of these swimmers being juniors, the charge is now on 3:48. Well, they're going to have to swim a very fast last 100 meters to make sure that they achieve the junior qualification standard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, around that 65-second split is a really good back 100. So if any of these girls are freestyle swimmers and they've got that in the bag, then they're very, very close to that 4:53.5 mark. But in the centre of the pool, still in that white hat, in those yellow lanes, going really well, it is Susie McNair from Stirling Swim. So 4:21.96, so a little bit of an ask to come down that last 50 in 32 seconds to be under that 4:53.5, but she's really working hard, she's really gone to the legs, and she's just giving it everything in this last 25 meters.
So the 16-year-old Susie McNair from Stirling does look good down this last 100 metres of this B final of the women's 400 medley. The time's going to be just outside of the consideration time.
Eleanor Broughton goes in lane number 1 from Broughton. Next to her, Broughton teammate, Hetty Damasa. Laura Cabanas Garzaz from Spain goes in 3. Kiana McInnes, again one of the favourites for this title. She goes in lane number 4, still a university swimmer. Ragitza Gar from Hovenstaden goes in lane number 5, the Danish swimmer. Our visitor here to the Edinburgh International, Alba Vasquez Ruiz from Spain, goes in lane number 6. Ella Carby from City of Glasgow goes in lane number 7. And Susie McNair from Stirling Swim goes in lane number 8. Kara McInnes, again, Commonwealth Games finalist. They lead at the halfway point there, 103.55 for McInnes. Vasquez Ruiz in second, Cabanas Garzas in third, so the 2 Spanish swimmers second and third there. It's very close though between, well, 5 swimmers for the second place yet. Well, we saw Ciara Slosson from Edinburgh University go through in a 2:12.63. But McInnes really going for this one. Incredibly fast heat time from McInnes. She's been around on the kind of fringes of the Scottish squad for a number of years. Made the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games team back in 2018. It was kind of her first kind of major senior international. And she's continued to be a fixture in that Scottish team. Kiana McInnes, 200 butterfly, certainly the event that she made her name. And just keep an eye on the clock, see how close she can get to that time from Slosson in the first heat. Just going to be behind Slosson in 2:13.34, but a convincing victory there from Kiana McInnes. Ruiz 2:18 in second place, and Cabanas